live stream. So, as usual, let's zoom in a little. Just a little. Yeah, that should be enough. Okie dokie. Yeah, when I'm painting, that should be the correct angle. Maybe a little bit lower. Like that. Yeah, that should be fine. And it is still focusing on the background. Come on. Yeah, that's the best I can get. Okay, let's start with it. As you can see, I have primed it in silver, the good old Citadel lead belcher, and yeah, I'm taking this turquoise here on my wet palette. And hello everyone in chat. Hello Bill Bursey. Yes, I am well. Thanks for asking. I hope you are well too. Welcome to the stream. So, first I'm painting the teal color here all over the armor plates and leaving the metal bits in between behind. And my PC is making a noise that it shouldn't do. Yeah. Sometimes we need the Melmac trick. Hands up who knows what the Melmac trick is. So, for those of you here in chat, what are you painting right now, or have you painted in the last few days, or plan to be painting? Tell me about it. I want to know. Well, I've been painting Epson for about a week now, so let's get back into business. Hello, Christiana. We are working on Android from the far future. Hello, Mike Grossman. And nerd news today. I sadly moved away from Warhammer because I got too pricey for me, especially since I only want to paint them and not play them, so I'm doing more fantasy stuff. Well, that's totally fine. Everybody can pick up and paint whatever they want. There are way more miniature manufacturers out there than just Games Workshop. There's always Privateer Press and now one-page rules and all the other manufacturers that come to mind. Well, the 3D printing scene right now, it's even getting bigger and bigger out there with the stuff that GW has to fear. So normally for bigger models I would go a different route. Here normally I would paint the metal surfaces previously with a contrast paint, skeleton horde, and then stipple on this here jade from scale color, and then I would stipple in this color and then stipple in an even brighter teal color. But I guess for just the infantry models, like here the Necron warriors, we can basically skip 3 of the steps. You won't even notice the other colors when we are doing this that way. Oh, chat is scrolling here. From Bill Bursey, just starting on some Moria goblins. I actually watched your painting guide from years ago to prepare. Well, this is a really old video from you. From Brian Collins. Hey Alexandra, hope all is well. Yes, it is. I just finished a squad of Centurions after a month of picking at them, and I'm working on a Redempted Dreadnought to round out my 1500 point list. Well, Redempted Dreadnoughts are really fun to paint. I personally had quite fun painting mine. I still have one unassembled, but the assembly part of the hobby is not my favorite, to be honest. I prefer the painting over the building. So the easy to build one was easy to build, like the name suggests, but the other one is so labor intensive. I put him out of his box, looked at him and said, nope, back into the box it goes. Yeah, I will have probably to build him at some point. Yeah, Brian Collins says, haha, oh yes, he was quite a bit of work. Yeah, definitely is. Well, I have from the Space Marines all sort of stuff still to build and paint, so there's still some work to be done. So next we'll paint the weapon in black. From Christiana, my favorite part of the hobby is gluing my fingers to the models and trying to work out how much flesh I want to part with. Well, to ease your pain there, Diana, always have a little bit of isopropyl alcohol laying around. It is a good solvent for super glue. But unless if you want to part of some of your fleshy bits, then do your thing. But yes, I know what you mean. So, yeah. Black part is done. So now some stippling. Brush, let's use this one. So I'll need some white to highlight the blue. Huh? So what's the little robot's story? Well, about 6 million years ago, they thought, well, let's upload our consciousness to android bodies, and then they go to sleep. And they recently awoke and thought to themselves, well, beep, 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 let's kill everybody. End of story. Well, I personally am not a big fan of the reimagination of the story of the Necrons. This whole Egyptian style Necron triumvirate and pharaohs and stuff and like that, I'm not a big fan of that. So, as well as, for example, for Warhammer Fantasy, I was never a fan of the Tomb Kings. I'm not a fan of this Egyptian style thing. And back in the day when the Necrons were just released, where the first glimpses of them, where they just appeared in the White Dwarf, and you had only some warriors, a Necron overlord, and some scarabs, and that was it. And the story was the Imperial miners had dug a little bit too deep, just like with the Balrog, and they uncovered some ancient ruins and found some robots, and they awoke and they killed everybody. And the Imperials were absolutely baffled by this situation, and they didn't know what to do, and they didn't know what enemy they faced, and yeah, that was basically the story for the Necrons. Nobody knows anything, and I really like that. From Christiana, I mostly played Warhammer Fantasy Battles, so I don't know much about 40k. I mean, I have a bazillion Tyranids, but I just thought they were cool looking. And I like to think of stories for my models while I paint with them. Okay. Well, to give you a brief overview about Warhammer 40k, well, like the name suggests, it plays in the 41st millennium, and well, mankind has settled on several million worlds all across the Milky Way, but several alien races are not that happy with that, and they fight and constant battle. And the Necrons are basically one of the races that the Empire of Man has to face. And the Empire of Man has several different armies at their disposal. They have obviously the poster childs, the Space Marines. Then they have the Adeptus Sororitas, or also called Sisters of Battle. Then they have the Adeptus Militatum, or well, the Imperial Army. Then the Adeptus Mechanicum, and lots of other factions. Then you have on alien factions, obviously the Orcs. Never leave a fantasy realm without the Orcs. Then you have the Tyranids, the Great Devourer. Then you have the Tau, very high advanced civilization with lots of firepower, but bad in close combat. But they have nice little mech suits. big mech suits, and in between mech suits, and drones, and pulse rifles, and all the rifles that you can think of. And then the Eldar showed up and was like, "Oh no, what have we done? What have you done?" From Snow Wolf 2150. Yes, the Eldar are also a race in 40k. They are basically space elves, also very high advanced. And they sometimes throw their mustard also into the mix. And now a new race will emerge. The Leagues of Wotan, basically a very old race from a Warhammer lore perspective, and also from the miniature perspective, because they are the old squads. Yes, the Leagues of Wotan are not real squads anymore. They are just clones of the old squads, but let's face it, dwarves in space. They are the squads. Well, and just like in Warhammer Fantasy Battle, you pick your faction, you paint the miniatures, you collect an army, and then you fight. Round one, fight. And to quote a very noble man, basically, life sucks, there's only one, you will probably get eaten by turnips. Have fun. So, that were the white parts. Now we get our good old Nuln oil, still with the old recipe. I prefer the old recipe. The new recipe is much too thin, much too weak. Give me the good old stuff. But if you have the new Nuln oil and it is too weak in your opinion, just take some of the black contrast paint and drip some drops of that into your paint. So normally I do think about stories for my miniatures, like with my Crimson Vow Space Marines, but to be honest, the Necrons are a race that doesn't invite much of characterization, because all the Necrons themselves are just automatons. They don't have any personality whatsoever. Only the maybe the overlords and the cryptex, and that's it. So they're basically an undead army in space. And other than maybe your cryptic and overlord, you can't give them much of a backstory. They are just some Necrons from a tomb world that woken up from some random dynasty. That's it. All you can do is maybe give your dynasty a name and, yeah, say where they are in the grand scheme of things and what they may have attacked. But, yeah, not much story mode potential for the Necrons. Not much to work with. So, from Christiana. I have one last pot of the old stuff, unopened from like 10 years ago. That is my in case of emergency. I bet it's a solid brick in there. No, an sealed container, never opened. They see perfectly. It will still be workable. Then from Snowwolf 2150. What do you think of the theory that the Silent King created the Tyranids? Nah. I can get behind it that he was out there in deep space outside of the galaxy and he found the Tyranids. And maybe he gave them a push towards the galaxy and but he didn't create them. From Oxronzaur. Guten Tag from Canada. Alexandria. No, that's not my name. My name is Alexandra. So from KS, what is the deal with the Tyranid range? I always wished I collect them back in the day, but now I seem Homogons are missing. No, the Homogons are still there. Homogons are all there. They never went away. Yeah, just have a look at the Games Workshop website, and there you see the whole catalog of Tyranid models, what you can choose, and from the normal core choices, you have the Termagons, and you have the Homogons, and you have the Gene Stealers. Everything's there in order. I literally have about 80 Gauns collecting Dusk. Dust help yourself. So, now comes the green glow. All the green glow. I wish GW would create an orange and a blue version here of the Tesseract Glow. Maybe a magenta version. Because that stuff is awesome. We need more neon paints. Give us more neon, please. From KS, I just want a variety of paint for a fun project. So what exactly do you mean with that? Sorry, I don't get it. What fun project are you referring to? What paints are you referring to? A variety of Tyranids, I mean. Just a break from fantasy models. Ah, yeah, okay. If I want to make my own washes, how do I go about that? I feel like I throw so much money away on these things, and I'm like, is this just a watery paint? Yes and no. Washes have very specific properties to them that just diluted paint does not possess. So if you want to create your own washes, there are recipes out there on YouTube, and I highly recommend that you use them. But basically, what it boils down to is you take a medium, an acrylic medium, and dilute your colors with that instead of just water. So, for example, there's matte medium here, or we have glaze medium here, or then the GW variant would be here Lamia medium or contrast medium. Those are all acrylic-based mediums that are there for dilution purposes, and with that you can basically create your own washes. But in the end, from a price point perspective, that wouldn't be good because you wouldn't get much in case of money's worth when you try to dilute your paints with this stuff to a point to get a pot of Agrax Earthshade, for example. So you would, in the end, pay the same amount of price. So from KS, I like the Vallejo inks. Brian Collins, I believe Vallejo makes a variety of fluorescent paints. I picked up the fluorescent orange a while ago. Haven't found a project for it yet, but it looks very vibrant. Yeah, I have that. I have the fluorescent paints here, for example. We have fluorescent orange. It is a nice paint, but it is very tricky. So the fluorescent paints here from Vallejo have a very, very strange consistency. They are gel-like, not like normal acrylic paints. They are highly glossy, and they don't cover well. But if you dilute them properly with some medium, for example, you can get them to a washy state and use them over a white background, and then they can get very vibrant. I used them, for example, for my yeah, let's show you that quickly. Here, for that here, for example, for some flame stacks here. This here's the fluorescent orange in between, and you can make it really nice. Okay, from the Red Scout. Looking forward to the old world. Loved your old fantasy videos. Yeah, about that, I don't think the Warhammer Old World will be what the people expect. I don't think they will just remake the Warhammer Fantasy and stick a new label on it. I think it will be an entirely new beast. From Ronzak Soro, or however you want to pronounce yourself. Going to tidy my hobby space today and change my desk around. Well, good luck with that. Brian Collins, I believe Vallejo makes a variety of fluorescent paints. Yeah, got that. I don't paint, but I watch your stuff from You Are Hero. Stuff to relax me very much and fall asleep when I want to take a little nap or sleep at night. You are so relaxing. It's insane. Sorry to be so boring that people sleep to my voice, I guess. But thanks for watching. Okay, yes, second that, Miss Warhammer Fantasy and Lord of the Rings. I remember trying to survive for 4 rounds against Necrons when they were first introduced. Brian Collins, I have that exact paint for my Inceptors. Aha, that's a great idea. Thank you very much. If you survived, you got a broken scarab as a prize. I didn't survive. No scarab for me. Yeah, I didn't get the broken scarab either. And from Chris Diana, whenever I try to do fire, it looks like stacks of cheddar cheese and no fire. Yeah, the secret to make these smokestacks is quite simple. You start with a white background, then you take here this fluorescent orange and water it down or medium it down, and then you cover this whole thing in the fluorescent orange, at least 2 or 3 coats, unless until it is completely covered. And then you start not highlighting, but downlighting it with oranges, reds, and blacks. So in the end, you get a nice transition. Yeah, that's basically the secret for that. So let's continue with our Necron. That away. What do I need? I need that. Canoptic alloy. So let's roughly paint the edges. No, that's not the correct paint that I used. Where is it? No. No, I used Lord Brass. That was it. Yeah, that's better. So what I'm doing here is I'm painting all the edges roughly like it is scratched. From Christiana, groovy, thanks. And then Ross M, you could paint one of those smoke sculpts green and have it as bile from the mouth of the Chaos Demon. Yeah, good work. From Zoran Gray, greetings everyone. Alexandra, follow your channel since 2012. Well, thank you very much. Squads, gravity weapons, go blue. Yeah, the squads are also a race with high advanced technology. We are all just biomass for the four-armed emperor. Yeah, the good old gene stealer cult propaganda. So after this Necron is painted, I have a other project in mind that does not involve painting. I want to create with you guys here in chat together a new unit for the Death Guard. And you can help me in creating the rules for that. From Snowwolf 2150, with the return of the squads, now we wait to see if the Zodes return. No, I don't think so. Alexander, will you paint miniatures from Warlord games, especially boat action? No, I won't. That's not my cup of tea, sorry. The sad part about that is psychers are literally psychic biomass for the actual Emperor. Yeah, about the new unit for the Death Guard. I want to create a Psyker. And its name is a Poxcaster. It's a Nurgle Psyker that creates Poxwalkers. From Christiana, alright y'all, I gotta set up for my D&D campaign. I'm this close to TPKing my friends' favorite characters, and I couldn't be happier. Well, good luck with that. But I wouldn't advise to TPK your party. Ems eats his psychers for breakfast. Yeah, the Emperor eats lots of psychers for breakfast. That's correct. That's correct. Well, back to my idea. I want to create a new unit, like I said. A Poxcaster, a Poxwalker creation unit, like a little necromancer for the Death Guard, for example. He shouldn't be a Death Guard psyker. He should be a normal human, like a cult member or something, Chaos Cultist psyker. And he pops up in the middle of a hive city, and he starts creating Poxwalkers. And when enough of them are there, then maybe the Death Guard will arrive and assist them in taking over the planet. Christiana, I'm the DM. I do what I want in brackets. Then they ignore it. Have a good time, peeps. Yeah, have a good one, Diana. So, I thought about what this unit could do for the Death Guard. Well, the Death Guard right now is like I said in a different video, they are a shallow army. They don't have enough variety in their miniature range, and I thought such a character model would be a nice introductory unit. So if you have your start of your army, you have your Poxwalkers, then some Plague Marines, and then as your leader, this Poxcaster. From Zoran Gray, have you got a minute? Have you got miniatures representing non-official presented GW fractions? Example, Norse, Estalia, Nippon, etc. No. No, I don't have such things. From VC Daniels, Christiana, if you like TPKing your players, try running a game of Murk. I TPK'd my players on first game, and I didn't intend to. So back to the question from Zoran Gray. No, I don't have any unofficial models for Norse, Estalia, or Nippon, or something like that. Normally, until recently, I used to play at GW stores, and non-official stuff was never allowed, so I never looked out for stuff like that. So that's that. It was never on my radar. I think if you were to take a Poxwalker and mixed it with a Chaos Cultist, or maybe even a Gene Stealer Cultist model, and bashed that all together, it could be fun. Yeah, of course. So, yeah, Necron is done. He's finished now. I need to tidy up the black here a little bit, but that's all. And maybe the base. So, for profile-wise, I would say for this Poxcaster, make him a human. So, ballistic skill and weapon skill, I would say at a 4+. Not something special. Attack-wise, 1 attack. He's a caster, he can't really fight in melee combat. He is a total scrub in that department. So, toughness. He is a Nurgle follower, so at least I would give him a toughness of 4, or maybe 5 even. Then wounds, I would give him, as a mid-level character, 3 wounds. For a human, that could be okay. Uh, Silent King and Turnips. Wasn't the explosion of the Pharaoh's beacon what gained the attention of the Turnips, and the PB was a Necron construct? No idea. That's something some random author have written in some random novel, and I personally don't consider novels canon. I consider only the official publications of the rule books canon, and the novels are a legacy. So do what you want with it. From VC Daniels, I remember the days where your minis had to be 90% or more official GW Merc, or you couldn't feel them in GW stores. Yeah, I remember those days. Your favorite paint producers? GW, Scale Color, and Vallejo, Army Painter. I don't buy paints for the brand. I buy paints for the color they provide. So I have a mixture out of several different stuff here. War paints, Citadel, uh, Scale 75, Vallejo. It's a total mix here. I don't have a favorite. uh, I think they expected 100% notice. Yes, 100% GW. But, well, as for my last video, you have seen playing in Games Workshop stores all around the world is prohibited. The old days, White Dwarf would run articles showing how to kit bash from old deodorant cases, yeah. The funny thing about GW canon is they literally tell you to believe what you want so you aren't wrong. Everything is canon, not everything is true. From Tyler Rive. Hi, Alexandra. Yeah, hi. Nice of you to drop by here into the chat. Well, we just finished up here. Oh, damn. Messed up my little Gauss rifle here. The speck of black. But that's okay. We needed to highlight those dots anyways. So back to the Boxcaster. The profile. Yeah. Now let's go to the spells that you could use. I was thinking about obviously yes, the magic missile spell that you can. Zoran Gray. Do you still live in Germany? In which city? Yes, I still live in Germany, in Solingen. So, the spells. Here's obviously the magic missile spell. And you can have two of the following list. So I was thinking the first spell to be creating poxwalkers, it's like summoning them like skeletons or zombies. So it can be cast in 3 power levels. Power level 1 would be a cast value of 7, and it would create 1d3 poxwalkers to a near poxwalker unit, maybe in 12-inch range. Then we have summon level 2 that would go up to a warp energy of, let's say, from 7 to 9. And you would create 1d6 poxwalkers in a vicinity of maybe 18 inches then. And then power level 3 would be cast level 11. and it would create up to a vicinity of maybe 24 inches, 2d6 Poxwalkers to a nearby Poxwalker unit, or create a new one. Zoran Gray, I'm sorry, Solingen didn't heard that properly. Yes, Solingen. Like where your knives come from. Ron, okay, thank you. Ron is fine. So, also that need to be painted. Your grandpa lives here? Okay. Well, greetings to your grandpa then. So, what do you think of the spell? Would you think that's okay? Would you think that's overpowered? So, then spell number 2. For the second spell, I would think like a corpse explosion. You target a Poxwalker unit in close combat range to an enemy, and then you sacrifice 1d3 Poxwalkers, and the enemy unit that is in base contact to the Poxwalkers suffers 1d6 mortal wounds. Like the Plague Caster is targeting the Poxwalkers, and they swell and burst open and like a living bomb. What do you think of that? Would that be too powerful? Is that cool? To sacrifice your own dudes to cause damage? From Tyler Rivian, that corpse explosion spell reminds me of the bloated corpses from Total War Warhammer 2 on PC. Yeah, that's a good comparison. OG corpse explosion in Diablo 2, yeah. And then the third spell would be maybe to buff your Poxwalkers. What's your favorite fraction in Warhammer Fantasy Battle and Warhammer 40k? The Vampire count has a unit that does exactly that. Oh, really? Cool. What's your favorite faction in Warhammer Fantasy Battle and Warhammer 40k? Well, in Warhammer Fantasy Battles, it was an undead army led by a necromancer. That was my absolute favorite. Not vampires, not Khemri, specifically a necromancer army. But they took that away in 4th edition and made it vampires only. And in Age of Sigma, it would be Stormcast Eternals. And for Warhammer 40k, it would be Space Marines. So, our Necron is done and finished. Until the base is dry, it might take an hour before I can continue. So, well, we are at the end of the stream here. If you have any other last questions, field them now. Drop them now. From VC Daniels, for the second spell, I'd add that anyone killed by poxwasps could also be made into the explosion corpse. The fallen enemy may have been infected with a disease in their fight. Well, that's already inbuilt into the poxwalkers themselves. If they kill enemies, they are raised as poxwalkers. That's already in the poxwalker DNA. I would add that to the spell. If somebody dies from this explosion, they could also be risen as a poxwalker. That would be cool. No, I am not living on Talstrasse, and I will not give you my exact address. Sorry. Sorry, but I will not give my address. Hey guys and girls from Underdog Painting. Welcome to my stream. Well, you come to the end of the stream where we are just chatting now. The Necron I've painted is finished now. From Tyler Rivier, I'm a little surprised that the poxwalkers don't have a chance to explode when they die already. Yeah, that's a total bummer. So, but what do you think point cost wise for that poxcaster we were talking about? Would you say 60 points is a good starting point? He has already the magic missile and can have up to 2 of the 3 spells he knows. He could know, and he can cast 1 spell a turn. What do you think? Points cost wise? Special rule from Ron, inspired by Lucius the Eternal. If the poxcaster is slain and is within 12 inches of a poxwalker, that poxwalker becomes a poxcaster and his consciousness is transferred. That sounds a little bit like the special rule from Tezin the Eternal from the Necrons. VC Daniels Cool Edition. You can even rule that it could do 3 chain reactions of explosions. Or that poxwalker takes the damage instead. Yeah, if he is within 3 inches of the poxwalkers, the poxwalkers are like their meat shield, so he can throw poxwalkers in the way until all the poxwalkers are gone, basically. That could be a cool rule, but that would increase his point cost. Yeah. Look out, sir. So, how much is normal? Is a normal wizard in Warhammer 40k? Grot Shield Poxwalkers. Cost a CP. My favorite RPG, Dungeons and Dragons. So, guys, if there are any other questions, now is your final time before I turn off the stream. I hope you had fun watching me paint this little Necron here. You mean PC game or tabletop game? Well, pen and paper role-playing game. That's for me an RPG. That's Dungeons and Dragons. For a computer game, Guild Wars 2, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Elden Ring, Skyrim. Take a pick. Brian Collins had a great time painting along. So, what did you paint while you were watching? Just out of curiosity. Worked on the Redempted Dreadnought. Ah, yeah, I remember. From Tyler Rivey. Need to start on my Orc Boys. Zoran Gray, it was nice to chat with you. Alexandra, have a nice day. Brian Collins, mostly highlights at the moment. Thanks for the stream. Glad I caught on. Yeah. Thanks everybody for chatting with me while I'm painting. Well, do all the YouTube Ghibli things, push all the buttons, sub all the subs, bell all the rings, ring all the bells, and we see us in the next video. You, Alexandra. Bye.